Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flix Show. My name is Chris Wong. I think this is just going to be like an open discussion at this point. There is quite a things going on in my own life. And oh, by the way, I cut myself shaving. If you see two little blood spots there, yeah, it's that kind of. It's been that kind of. It's gonna be that kind of week. We also got a hurricane come. Yeah, Hurricane Lane is on its way. So my wife and I, our family, bought some water. Got a whole bunch of canned goods, beans. You know, the beans and because every pork and beans. Every end of the world movie has pork and beans. They're eating pork and beans, so I figured it's fitting. So yeah, I bought that and. A lot of things going on with work and stuff like that, and of course, not too much news in DC anyway. So I'm actually kind of, in a way, I know I shouldn't be happy about that, but I'm kind of glad because I don't have to be kind of wish I had to talk about it. But in any case, I want to talk about it now. I want to talk about the state of the fandom, and everything in general. It's almost like a podcast, except you get to see me, my face. But it's been pretty crazy. That's all I wanted to say about the world. It's been fantastical at the same time and crazy, and there's just problems here and there in my workplace, and not my workplace, but like in work in general, what I represent and all that stuff. And then there's also the good stuff too. There's a lot of good things, like I don't know, Zack Snyder's coming to Hawaii, guys. Zack Snyder's coming to Hawaii. He's not coming to this island though. Hey, Zack, if you're going to come to Honolulu. This is where I'm at. But I get it. Kauai is much more tropical island per se. Of course, there's a hurricane coming. The last hurricane was Iniki, who hit Kauai, and it looks like the path is kind of going up like that. And if that's the case, then get off that island, sir, please. get on this island. Maybe it's safer, but you know what? It's going to be, we haven't had one in a while. So we've been very fortunate. All these hurricanes are missing us or turning into tropical storms as they hit, but you never know. Knock on wood. You never know. So just in case, be safe. Get supplies and stuff like that, and that's part of it. But you want to talk about DCEU Fandom? Great. Not much. Suicide Squad 2 got delayed. Yeah. Suicide Squad 2, if you were looking for that next Deadshot movie, I'm sorry. He's too busy going to shoot Bright 2, and I think Bad Boys, another, the other one that he was going to shoot. So he's busy doing that. And then, so Will Smith is not going to be able to shoot until like late 2019. But get this, it's still 2019. That means we're going to have possibly 4 DCEU films shooting in production in 2019. At the same time, we're getting 2 DCEU films playing in 2019, right? We got Shazam and Wonder Woman 1984. But we're going to have filming, they're going to be filming The Flash. They're going to be filming Birds of Prey. If Matt Reeves can ever get that script off the ground, hopefully we'll know after Labor Day. The Batman. And then, even the Joker film, even though that's not part of DCU, but it's DC, and Suicide Squad 2, and that's amazing. Gavin O'Connor they're gonna have Suicide Squad 2, and so there's a lot going on. I mean, that's incredible. For people who think DC is dead, it's so not dead, right? Right? It's just going. They're just going at it. They're just gonna keep on rocking it. They're gonna keep on going with it. There's not gonna stop. Unfortunately, what does that mean for, the Snyder Cut? Well, not much news at all. Zack's been quiet. He is now going on vacation, or for some other reason, going to Kauai. No, he's not going to screen the Snyder Cut there. No, I'm not invited, so I don't know. But I'm just saying, he's living his life, and that's great because he's got that 12 mini-series Fountainhead that they're going to do, and that's what his next real project is. Whether or not what happens to the Snyder Cut, who knows at this point. Not sure what that means. We don't know anything about those October DVD Blu-ray releases. What I think is probably just a standard edition, but my God, $28 for a DVD. That's just insane. Who's gonna buy that? I'm not gonna buy that. $28. That's reserved for 3D, man. I mean, or HD or whatever, and with special features on there. But it's literally the same movie. I think that 135-minute is a typo, or a 2 hour 15. They said exactly the same thing for the other one too, right? So I don't know. Who knows? But people are saying, Lord Paula said October, November. Would that be it? I don't know. I mean, I don't know who the source is. That was part of my rumors video. That was reserved for that. But October is going to have a release. There's later in August, right? 23rd or whatever. I got to look it up. Wait, isn't it 23rd this week? But anyway, there was going to be release for that, and who knows what's going on with that. It does look like generic covers from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. There's that void background. It does look a lot more colorful, more saturated. Did the BVS one come out yet? I'm interested to see how that looks like. So it has those things, part of it that really is starting to really get away from the DCU we used to know. That age of Zack Snyder seemingly is dissipating and gone. But he did create this, so this is his legacy going on forward. It's a little bit different from what he would have done. In fact, his 5-part arc was, exploded. It just into other different movies and here and there and all these different things. Now we know there's a lot of people who are getting on the bandwagon a little bit about, okay, why are they doing Batgirl? Why are they doing Supergirl? We want Superman. We want Batman. This is just a feminist thing. There's Birds of Prey. Look at all these females and stuff like that. And I'd be like on that too. Only that because I mean, I wouldn't be on that bandwagon because of the fact that these characters are already in the comics. It's not like they had, like what they did with Ghostbusters. Let's get a all-female Ghostbusters. Okay, all-female. Oh, let's get an all-female Ocean's 11. Oh, okay, all-female. Let's get an all-female Expendables. Well, that didn't happen, right? And then so they were going to do that. And so that's not the same case here because Supergirl exists in the comics, Batgirl exists in the comics, Birds of Prey exists in the comics. So it's kind of cool to see all these characters getting to the larger, not the small screen, but the big screen, the silver screen, when it used to be called silver screen. And so we're getting that, and I think that should be really exciting because that means the universe is expanding. It's not just getting sequels after sequels, even though I would totally love a Superman sequel, but I totally think that Superman will show up in Supergirl, and I hope it's Henry Cavill, and that's the main thing out of this fandom right now. It's the guessing. It's just wondering what is exactly going on. What is going on behind closed doors? What are we going to get any more news about Ava DuVernay's New Gods? Are we going to get any more news of Man of Steel 2, which, literally it's Batman v Superman, but, what we mean Man of Steel 2 is Superman's the sequel, Superman solo film, the sequel, his second solo film, solo outing. And, the Batman, is Ben Affleck giving the Batman, by the way, Daniel RPK is back on Twitter, so I don't know what the heck that was about. That was weird. He was gone for a while, now he's back, and then I don't know if he started talking about the Batman anymore or anything like that, but there's so much little idiosyncrasies in the details of little parts and pieces of the fandom that are talking about this and we're talking about that. I know we're still got the release of Snyder Cut snail mail campaign, which mine's is going to be going out on 22nd. I don't have any, I gotta find it and show you guys, but I'm going to be mailing. I'm going to be mailing 3 versions. So I'm going to be Walter Hamada. I'm going to be Kevin Tsujihara. I'm going to be doing Toby Emmerich. So I'm going to do all 3. I think it's the same lot. Someone said you just had to change the name. It's the same lot. So I'm like, okay, I'll do it. I got enough time and a couple more, $1 more just to send, 2 more mails, no problem, And so I'll do that with my Ping Pong Flix Show header on it and send those out, all 3. So there's that going on. Mine's is pretty soon. I think mine's is August 22nd. Ooh. I better check. But everybody else have sent out the letters or are sending their letters right now, and that is great. I'm so wondering how much letters he's gonna get, and if we're gonna actually get something out from this. I hope so. I truly hope so that we are gonna get some kind of a real official word from Warner Brothers, just like how they talked to the fans back in the day for the Richard Donner cut. So that's my hope and dreams. I'm sure that's a lot of your hopes and dreams as well, to get some kind of answer in order to see what's going to happen with the Snyder Cut. And I think a lot of people would, once the Snyder Cut comes out, would be pretty much happy with that. And if they want to continue with DCEU, they're welcome. That's up to you. And if you don't want to continue, well, at least you got your movie. At least we got your semi-third part of the trilogy, and even though we want the 5-part arc, but if we're not going to get that, this is worthy compensation. So the Snyder Cut isn't worthy compensation, and a final love letter goodbye from Zack Snyder from the DCEU, unless he's back, who knows? That's other tinfoil hat territory, but that's also something to be said there, right? So I think the fandom is all over the place, and that's okay, because every fandom is all over the place anyway, right? I mean, we're all over the place. We're arguing about this. We're still defending BVS to this day. Relevancy of BVS, relevancy of the DCU. We keep talking about it with all these people. People are chit-chattering on Twitter and things like that. When I have time, I keep looking. Jay Oliva still got our back, still got the Snyder Cut exists on it, and still protecting that, still defending it. And it's so weird that all these different people and bloggers and stuff like that just refuse to put his name on, like refuse to accept him as an evidence itself, to refuse to say that this if they're saying the Snyder Cut doesn't exist, they're saying Jay Oliva doesn't exist, and Jay Oliva clearly exists. So if Jay Oliva clearly exists, Jay Oliva says it exists, then it's gotta exist. I mean, if you are just not paying attention to this guy, which is stupid, it's really retarded. How can you not pay attention to the storyboard artist for the film? It's a person who's in the industry, and he's not just a DC fanboy. He's just not just some anonymous source. He's a person who worked on the film itself, on the project itself, was there with Zack Snyder, okay? And he's not just DC. He did some Marvel movies too, and things, all these types of things. He's directed his own films. It's not that hard to recognize this person. He, in fact, out of all the names that you could have put in your articles or your videos or your podcasts, you could have just wiped that all. You could wipe my name off the articles. You can wipe Fiona's name off. You could just put Jay Oliva. But of course, because what he says doesn't fit your narrative, you're going to ignore him. You're going to ignore he's not some executive, some guy. He has a name. He's putting himself out there, and you refuse to look at him. It's very weird. Very weird, very strange, but I mean, I can't believe that. That's just so. I don't know what it is, and why do we keep defending it? Like, I really want to, but it's like they don't get it to their skulls. They cannot. They keep fighting back because they want to drive their narratives. They either block you or they just ignore you, and they go ahead and they talk to this group of set of people or to their followers, and some of them don't even have that many. There's like 10 to 12 followers or something like that. Why do we even pay attention to them? Because they just got on, but we do. I mean, we have that innate human part of us who wants to respond, and that's why there's been a lot of Twitter things going on here and there, even comparing release of Snyder Cut fans to Rehire the Gun fans, and or things like that. It's just so weird, and and pretty tiresome. I mean, there's a lot of energy in there that is not quite positive, but there's a lot of good positivity within our own segment, and which is cool, with the snail mail campaign and things like that, and love for Zack Snyder films. I see a lot of sucker punch love nowadays. I see some like Senate officials, not just our mayor from what was he from, Florida or something? Yeah, so it's not just them. There's a lot of other tick marks that are truly coming out and saying they appreciate Batman v Superman, stuff like that. And that's really cool. That's awesome. There's also things still going around about Martha and Do You Bleed, and that's also all part of our pop culture now. But will we ever get to the back to the time where the DCEU was just like that? No. I mean, it's gone far off of that. We've got our little segments of fans now. It's kind of divided in a way, and which sucks, But yeah, that's how it goes. That's how it is, and that's how it's gonna go from here on out. But I think after Snyder Cut, and it's all released, and those segment of fans who can finally have their peace, including myself, and a lot of times a lot of us will, okay, let's move on, let's watch, we're going to watch the next one, I'm going to watch the next movies anyway, but we can finally have a part of ourselves that will finally accept what's happening, because we got what we want, and we've got justice for Zack Snyder, and I think Zack Snyder could also move on from that as well. So I think we're still doing some good, even though not much being heard right now. But the snail mail campaign is long, and that's because we're, Chris and Vanilla and Fiona, they've been calculating mailings from different countries to get to at a certain point in California. They could be off by 1 or 2 days, but relatively within that week or that timeline, these people, Walter Hamada, will be getting a stack full of mail. So that'd be pretty interesting, and hopefully that actually comes up in some kind of media or news, or have some kind of response. I don't know where we're gonna go from here, but it's gonna be an interesting time all the way to Aquaman. I can tell you that. Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting time to Aquaman, which comes out in December, and there's gonna be a lot more, maybe, hopefully not too much disappointing stuff, but more things that we want to hear, we love to hear, and including a cast of people who are going to be back replaying their roles as, Batman and Superman. But anyway, that's just my long, really rant or whatever. I don't know what it is, and it's really hot. It's the storms come, and it's bringing a lot of humid rain and wind and all that types together. So, if you don't hear from me, hopefully we didn't get hit. But if you do, this is my last transmission. Goodbye. Yeah, I'm just kidding. All right. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.